My head is so hot right now. I am absolutely fuming. And I probably shouldn't be. Because, look, that is a tough game. Forest are now literally second in the league. And to go to them away is a very tough game. It's one of those games you say at the start of every season, if you get a point out of, it's not a bad result. And especially with how well they are doing this season, it is not a bad result. But if you just put it into context, and I fully believe that if Liverpool won tonight, I fully believe there was absolutely no catching Liverpool when winning this league. With how Forest are playing, it's a ground we usually struggle at, don't play our best football at, and to come away with a win would be monumental. But look, all in all, that's not a bad result. We just should have won that game. First half, really, really crap. Really, really poor. Started the game so well and gave away a really soft goal and set up a perfect platform for Forest for the rest of the game so that they could put basically everybody behind the ball. And that made things an awful lot more difficult for us. Who's to blame for that? Ourselves. But Diogo Jota comes on, Costa Simicas as well, and the game absolutely changes. Diogo Jota now has to start because he's just that goal getter. He's just that natural finisher. He just gets in those correct positions. And the last 30 minutes, I felt Forest were out on their feet. You could see, even with their fans, that a point they would have absolutely loved. You could see Forest were playing for a point the last 30 odd minutes, had very, very few forays forward in that time, and Liverpool had the chances. We just didn't take them. Shout out, to be fair, to Murillo, who was fantastic at the back for Forest. He was an absolute monster there today. And Matt Sells, you had to have your best game ever, your Thibaut Courtois Champions League final performance against us. Cheers, Matt. I appreciate that. You can only laugh. But no, he was unbelievable today, and I couldn't believe that he got man of the match. Sorry, I couldn't believe that Murillo got man of the match and Sells didn't, because Sells, the last 30 odd minutes, that second half pretty much as a whole, got Forest a point. Unbelievable performance. And look, you can't be too mad. I'm mad about the result. I'm not mad about the performance. Mad about the first half, yes. The second half was an awful lot better. Liverpool started playing good ball then, and we should have won. But ultimately, we're probably going to look at this result and say it's a good result rather than a bad result. You can't get too mad over this. It's just frustrating. But look, all I would say is that this result, I think we would have been happy enough with if we had beaten Man United last weekend. We didn't do that, or the weekend before last. We didn't do that, so it is more frustrating than it would have originally been. But you have to put it in context and say it's okay. Anyway, let's get into today's Liverpool player ratings. Tonight's Liverpool player ratings, whatever. First up in goal, Alisson Becker. Could he have done better with the goal? I've seen some people in my YouTube live chat saying that he should have, but I don't think he should have. I think it's a great finish from Chris Wood. To be fair, it's a pure striker's instinctive finish into the far corner, and apart from that, he had to collect a couple of crosses. He made a couple of passes up the pitch, which were, as always with Alisson, usually good. He had very, very little to do. He really didn't have all that much to do at all throughout that game. Barr picked the ball out of his net like 9 or 10 minutes in. So I'm going to say 6. Onto the defence at right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought first half really, really poor. Out of position for the goal, it has to be said. I thought his passes in the first half weren't good. He wasn't affecting the game at all. But second half, after Liverpool got that goal, he was quite good. Going forward, going up the pitch, linking up play, a couple of good deliveries, good balls into the box. Defensively today, not fantastic, especially that moment where Alanga beat him in the second half and he put a great ball into the box right across the goal. Nobody was there, thankfully, to stick it in the net. Not great defensively, but for the last 20 or 30 minutes, good offensively. I'm going to say another 6. Ibu Kanate, I think it's fair to say he's not fit. He's just still not 100% fit. And look, that is understandable after missing 5 or 6 weeks of an injury. But today he looked a bit shaky. First half, a couple of the times with Wood, a couple of moments with Wood, a couple of moments where he had to do a little bit of defending on the counter-attack. Didn't look all there, and he hasn't really since he came back from injury. Obviously went off early-ish on in the second half. Slot, I think, definitely seen that. And look, that was in a moment where Liverpool obviously were pushing for a winner, and the team doing all the defending in that game was Forest. So Liverpool didn't have as much defending to do, and we defended pretty much, okay after that. But not his best. I'm going to say 5. Van Dijk, very, very good yet again. Every performance, every game, Van Dijk is great. It doesn't matter how Liverpool play, because Van Dijk is just a constant. And that constant is being absolutely quality. Very, very good performance. Very assured at the back. Apart from one moment, I would say he should do better for the goal. And look, that is a big moment, so you have to take a couple of points away from that. But apart from that, he was so good. The amount of balls into the box that he headed out, the amount of times he made good passes up the pitch, good diagonals and that up the pitch, which created Liverpool attacks, interceptions, everything else. The way he dealt with, at times, Forest wingers and counter-attacks, the way he dealt with Wood, apart from that goal, centrally, very, very good. But because of that goal, because I think he should do better, he is ball watching, and Wood is well onside behind him, and Wood comes in and scores. I'm going to say 8. Andy Robertson, look, he just shouldn't start anymore. I'm sorry, it's just as simple as that. How many opportunities did he have to put the ball into the box? How many corners did he have that were absolutely shocking, that barely beat the first man? Look, plenty of energy, as always, defensively, not the worst, but going forward, he makes little or no effect now. And in games like that, especially where you're playing a low block and you need some creativity, he's completely ineffective. Went off, obviously, in the second half. Slot should have taken him off at halftime, to be quite honest. I don't think he was awful, but just not good. No quality. 4. Onto the midfield, Ryan Gravenberch. Like a lot of players, I thought first half, not his best, but second half, when Liverpool came more to the fore, I thought he was good. Played in at centre-back, funnily enough, when Ibu came off, and I actually thought he was really good at centre-back. Forest had no joy centrally there at all. Even won a couple of headers in the box that were targeted at Wood. So look, certainly not his best day, not his best performance. Obviously, Alanga got away from him for the opener. Whether he could have done better there or not, you tell me. For me, he probably should have. But apart from that, he was decent. And he did a job second half when we needed him badly to do, which was playing a centre-back. I'm going to say Ryan Gravenberch gets a 6.5. Alexis McAllister, again, not his best performance. Liverpool only really ran the midfield after that Jota goal, when, the entire pendulum of the game swung. I thought he started the game well, like some other players, but kind of drifted off then after Forest had their low block, or Forest went further and further into their shell. They put up their low block after, of course, they scored with Wood, and was pretty ineffective from there. So somebody who you would like to see in that kind of game, with the creativity that Alexis McAllister possesses, do more. And today it wasn't really there. McAllister, I'm going to say 5. Dominic Szoboszlai, how good was it to have him back? So good today. So good. By an absolute country mile, our best midfielder. At the heart of everything Liverpool did well going forward. In that second half, especially after the goal was scored. He made all the right choices. He had a couple of moments where, he had one moment where Sells made a good save against him, like he did with virtually everybody today. And just an excellent performance in at midfield, honestly. He made a huge difference in the second half when Liverpool properly started to play well. He was one of the biggest reasons for that. Dominic Szoboszlai, I am going to say 8.5. Mohamed Salah, far from his best. Far from his best. Couple of moments he could have done an awful lot better, especially second half when Liverpool opened up play more, when he was getting more space. First half had a couple of forays down the right, a couple of times where he went up against the fullback and he beat him, but mostly he was either dispossessed or really didn't create much out of it. But yeah, second half, there was that time when Trent had a fantastic pass, put Salah through. Salah took a really poor touch. Szoboszlai passed it to Salah inside the box. Salah perfectly set up to hit it with his left foot, spooned it over the bar. Far from Mohamed Salah's best performance. But what I will say is he was unlucky. Sells made a fantastic save from him in the second half. He was a threat all game, as Mohamed Salah is. I thought his link-up play was well. I thought he was creative. He passed the ball well, as a lot of our kind of front three, front four did in the second half. So not awful, but far from his best. I'm going to say Salah gets a 6. Cody Gakpo, very, very unlucky he didn't score the winner in that game. I mean, that was a fantastic save from Sells. I mean, I feel like we should rate Sells in this game, or in this video, the amount that we have talked about, or the amount that I have talked about him. But he was the main reason Forest got a point from that game. It's as simple as that. And they weren't easy saves either. They were really good saves. Cody, as always, second half, last few minutes, did his usual. Come inside from the defender, runs down the line of the box, just the edge of the box, and a really good shot with his right foot, and Sells pulls out a fantastic save to stop it from going in the bottom corner. Apart from that, he tried, but not really much avail today. There wasn't an awful lot of quality there, but look, you can't knock Cody Gakpo's effort. Again, a bit like Salah, not his best, but far from his worst either. 6. Luis Diaz, really, 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 really bad. Let's be real, really bad. Really bad. He just had no effect on that game whatsoever. I mean, when the game comes to mind, or when Luis Diaz's performance comes to mind in that game, for me, I just remember the first half when he got a little bit of space outside the box and hit it with his right foot and hit it into literally Rowe's head about 100 yards above the goal. He has to be doing better in that central position. He has to. And look, I think he has been good in that position for the most since Slot has turned to that front three, and it is now obviously his preferred front three. And I would say it's probably our best front three. But if Diaz plays like that, and especially over the last few games, he's been up and down, then I think Jota has to start at the weekend. It's as simple as that. And from there, depending on how Jota plays, because you know what you're going to get with Diogo Jota at number 9. Potentially Diaz doesn't get into this team. You know, we will see. We will see. But tonight, poor, ineffective. As I said, saying about Gakpo, I mean, you can't knock his effort. He tried, but as he always does, as the vast majority of these Liverpool players always do, but there was no quality there whatsoever, and you could see the massive difference when Diogo Jota came on and played in that position. I'm going to say Diaz gets a 4. On to the subs, starting off with Diogo Jota. He saved us today. He saved us, and he was so unlucky not to get a wing. Why am I saying winger? So unlucky not to get a winner. I mean, Sells pulled off a couple of great saves after Jota scored. I mean, Jota's just that guy. He's just got that pure, natural striker's instinct. Be in that right position in order to score a goal. And when he gets that chance, he will score. He's enormous. He absolutely is. He has to start the weekend. It's a game like that where he is absolutely perfect when you need a goal and he will get it. And you know, if it was for him, we would have won that game tonight because he was excellent when he came on. Great sub from Slot. If anything, I wanted to see him even sooner. But yeah, Diogo Jota, great tonight. And I think, you know, since he's came back from injury, he's been up and down. But that's a great performance, and let's hope it carries through into the weekend and beyond. Diogo Diogo Jota gets a 9. Kostas Tsimikas came on, same time as Diogo Jota, and another really, really good sub. Fantastic delivery into the box, the corner in which we scored in, right to Jota's head. It wasn't an easy finish for Jota, but it was as good a delivery as we had into the box all night, especially from corners. He came on, made a big difference. I thought defensively he was good. Any work he had to do, he was very good going forward. As I mentioned, his deliveries, even just his crosses into the box, his passing, very good. And he's another player I think should start at the weekend, especially after Robertson's performance tonight. Again, Kostas Tsimikas will get a 7.5. And Curtis Jones, came on with about 50 minutes left. There was 7 minutes added on, so he got about 20 minutes. Did little. I mean, probably wasn't as involved as you would have liked to see. A couple of good passes. I thought he linked up well to the attack for the most. Didn't really have any chances himself or anything like that. Szoboszlai was just single-handedly running that midfield for the majority of that second half, especially when Jones came on. But yeah, not bad, not great. Didn't make a massive difference, but okay. 6. And finally, the manager, Arne Slot. Well, in terms of the 11 tonight, I predicted the 11, spot on. But I would have liked to have seen Tsimikas start. And ultimately, I think if Tsimikas starts that game, it's probably harsh to say we definitely would win. But I think we'd be in a better position just because Robertson just adds nothing anymore. And I think Slot has to get his head around that Tsimikas is now a better player and Tsimikas should be the starter going forward. He certainly affects the game an awful lot more than Robbo does right now. But his Slot subs, absolutely fantastic. I mean, you have to talk about bringing on Diogo Jota in around 60 minutes and Kostas Tsimikas at the same time and the game completely changing. And that is a sign of an absolutely great manager. We've seen since he's came to Liverpool how good his subs are. I don't blame him for starting Diaz. As I said, that has looked our best front three up to this point of the season. Another thing he will have to think about is what I mentioned previously in the video. Jota, I think, has to be rewarded now at the start and see how that goes for the next kind of few games because you know what you're getting with him, and that is goals. He's not called Diogo Jota for no reason, but no, I think hardly a perfect night for Arne Slot, but he showed his quality in the second half with those subs. Arne Slot, I am going to say a 7.5 out of 10. Anyway, that is my Liverpool player ratings for tonight's 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. I'm not over the moon. I was fuming after the game, not with the players, not with the performance, just the results, the fact that we didn't win the game. But it's not bad. It's okay. Big respect to Forest. Very good side. I love what they're doing this season, and I can only wish them luck from here on, especially Nuno Espirito Santo. I mean, the job he's done at Forest is absolutely unbelievable, and they showed themselves tonight to be a very, very, to prove that they are a very, very good side, and they showed that they have grit, and more than that, even plenty of quality all over the pitch. So it's not a bad result. Anyway, onwards to the weekend. Another tough game against Brentford. Thank you very much if you've got this far in watching the video. I appreciate all of the support. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you very soon. Up the Reds.